Hi guys, it's me just Limousine again, and for this video that I will be dedicating to my birthday month in June of 2026, I shall be talking about a movie that I've been wanting to review for a long time now, and you can see why, because the movie is very, very funny. It was actually, believe it or not, my introduction to The Simpsons, and I'm talking about the ever-loving the Simpsons movie. Now, like you said, it was my introduction to this wonderful TV show, so I'm very sorry. Please forgive me for not getting into it sooner. But, yeah, I've always been a Family Guy fan and Futurama fan, so I really never got into the Simpsons, but that's not for lack of trying, because unfortunately it was the same case as with the Kung Fu Panda movies, in that my Xbox One kept acting really, really retarded, because I tried putting the widescreen version, and then I tried putting the full screen version of the movie, and it still wouldn't freaking work. I mean, it would not work for me at all. Coming up with that, please insert the disc in it again, but it wouldn't work. So I tried putting on my DVD player, just a regular, simple, old-fashioned DVD player that I have hooked up in my kitchen area, and sure enough, it worked like a charm. First shot, it worked fine. I was like, what in the hell is the matter with this damn thing? I mean, I could somewhat understand the Kung Fu Panda movie, but this, come on, this is an American institution at this point. The Simpsons, you can't go wrong with The Simpsons. And by the way, I should point out that this copy of it, like the special edition, with like a sleeve on the actual DVD case with a little bit of yellow on the DVD box, and it's also got the iconic pink donut that is so famous for The Simpsons, for Homer, and it was actually really, really funny. I wish I could play with that one on my DVD player, but I was going to do right. This one, on the other hand, it's the plain Jane version of the movie, and it's got on a Spider Pig. So pick a poison, you want the donut or you want the pig. I'm gonna do. But anyway, they're both iconic for this movie, so yeah. I got my famous t-shirt for my favorite exercise in the whole world, the donut crawl. It's very popular, especially among Simpsons fans, and sure, comic book guy too. Yeah, so you know about a lot of the characters. Like my favorites are Mr. Burns, Ralphie. He's got to be my favorite non-Simpsons character. And then we have Martin and the three bully guys. And then Maggie is by far my favorite Simpsons character in the family. Followed by Bart and then Abe Simpson. And they're pretty funny. All of them really hilarious. But Maggie, I will admit, is a pretty but violent baby. Probably because in one of the episodes they actually show her being possessed by Pazuzu. And by the way, it was actually really funny that they had the demon infest Bart and saying that this soul is so black I can't even possess it. So they're like, help me out of here, help me out of here. And then bars that no just stay right there. Also, you got Flanders, obviously, and then you got two sons, which I can't think of the names offhand, but then you got Reverend Lovejoy, and then you got the two aliens, which I swear to God they didn't put in this movie just to piss us off. You know, I want to see the aliens watching everybody. And then we have Most Celiac, which I think could be related to Dorothy from the movie, from the show Golden Girls, as well as Bumblebee Man. I think her name is Kiki Mo, you know, the one that wanted to get pregnant by a comic book guy for some reason, impregnating me at once. And then we have, in this movie, we have President Schwarzenegger, which is arguably more of a dimwit than Donald Trump is, because he says, I was elected to lead, not to read. Mm-hmm. So he picks a bad choice for what to do with Springfield to level. And I gotta say, they did a good job with picking the right choice, because the choice that they picked was based on the book Under the Dome by Stephen King. But I'll get into it in a little bit. But this movie is actually pretty good for me. I do wish that they made a crossover with somebody else, like Futurama or, say, Family Guy, because, you know, also with the fact that it's a movie, it comes with like a bigger budget and more of an expensive storyline, which people always bitch that this is not really a movie per se. It's more of an extended, bigger episode of the show, and I can see that point. But don't forget also is that the Simpsons go to Alaska. So that's a pretty big step for family like that, and it's you know, that's a big deal for people like that. That's like an extension on the show itself. So I could see where they come up with the idea that it's not really a movie, because the thing aren't really that big, like in the Family Guy movie, and other TV shows made in the movies and all that. And it also wasn't the last hurrah for the TV show, because I know that there were a bunch of seasons after the show actually took place. You know, after the movie took place. So it wasn't like a big finale. It's like around, like, say, Friends or one of the other TV shows. So anyway, this has very horrible scenes and very interesting type things in there. Like, for example, some of my favorites are the aforementioned. I was elected to lead, not to read. Now I think they also got all sorts that they do that voice. I'm pretty sure they did, because I think they were trying to go for the joke about him being president, being the son of governor of California. If only we could get that. I wish we could have got that instead of we got now. But then there was the part with Green Day doing the Titanic reference when they sunk into Lake Springfield, which at this point was highly toxic. Hell, it's even more toxic than probably the reflecting pool in front of the Lincoln Memorial. So there, I can't get there. And just the screen too. So you got that. and then they were doing like a bit of a like a Earth Day Safety thing, and then they did that. I believe that they also had the guys from Green Day actually voiced the characters in the show, in the movie, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was. And let's see here. Oh yeah, there was the Release the Hounds when the aforementioned dome covers up the entire city of Springfield, and they gain desperate for electricity. So Mr. Burns has to, they have to try to get on the good side to try to get the electricity and power from him. And what's really funny is that Mr. Burns is the stereotypical rich guy with no heart, with no conscience. So he says, that you could see lives. Interesting, see lives. But then he's like, we're gonna fly people on the electricity as the cop chief comes, says we're gonna electrocute somebody. We have power, we can't do that. So then he says, tempting. And then Apu says that, all police will fall in deaf ears unless you look down in your heart and you try to get, think about the good people of Springfield and all of this stuff. So then Mr. Burns looking very evil, and he's saying, no, guys. Meanwhile, Smithers is looking at the guy and saying, when he means about goodwill and being nice and all that stuff, it's like, so then he said, release the hounds on them, Smithers. So then they say, the exit's on the right. So then they escape. And then Springfield ends up becoming like a Mad Max type scenario in which Burns is the new squad line. But they tend to be more like almost like Lord of the Flies type of thing where Mo is the official emperor, to which Bonnie says that they're not. So he chucks a Molotov cocktail at the guy. He says, oh yes I am. Then he chucks it back at him. He says, ow. Yes you are, Hell Emperor. There's also a part where they do a spot between the bar patrons and churchgoers, and they swap places, and the dome comes down. It's so funny. But I think the best one is when Homer dares Bart to go to the Krusty Mart or Krusty Burger, where he's butt naked on skateboard. Like, the people that can see my junk. Now, I like this scene because not because I love to see his junk down there, but because it plays around with sensitive issues. Because during the first 20 seconds of doing this, you do like Austin Powers style censorship, like certain things getting in the way of seeing his that go down there. But then they do a thing where they just show that part of his body, but they censor everything else out. So I don't know if that kind of skirts the nudity clause for a kids movie and all that. I'm gonna say yes, it does, because they don't actually show any other part of his body, just that one section. So I guess they meant to play around with the rules and just fucked over the FCC. Like in the song goes, the goddamn FCC and all this stuff. Anyway, that's not my favorite line in the movie. My favorite line in the movie is that when Ned Flanders is at Krusty Burger with his two boys, Rod and Todd. That's what it is, Rod and Todd. And he said, thank the Lord for this special penis. So that was really funny, especially because he's so evangelical and so highly duped, with the fun stuff and so holier than thou. But I like him because he's very, very religious, but he doesn't actually force the thing in his throat. I'd say Jehovah's Witness or something like that. By the way, I know it's not in the movie, but I love it when Flanders goes to hell or something, and he says that, how could this day get any worse? And then they show up. Maud Flanders, his beloved R.I.P. wife, snuggling into bed with the devil and Satan. I would imagine that'd probably be the worst thing in the world. Because he is a Christian and all that stuff, so yeah, thanks. But anyway, this thing is so funny. They don't mention Martin in the movie, but I had to figure out somehow. Because obviously he's the devil's favorite for obvious reasons. But this show is really, really cool. Anyway, Homer actually does show himself to be a negligent father as usual, in which he does things with his son that are very questionable parenting. For example, he gets his son to climb on top of the rabbit antenna and fuck around with it. Go climb to the top where he shakes it, and the kid falls off and goes and hangs on the gutter to where Ned Flanders said to get him off of there, otherwise he'll become a paraplegic and falls off. To which Homer just said, don't worry about it. So then he falls to the roof. And then he also uses the hammer and somehow it gets into his eye. Now, this is funny because at the end of the run, they actually show that he learned eye safety when he did with a hammer. I have no idea how it came to be that he got the hammer in his eye, but he did. Anyway, it shows the funny thing where Homer actually choked out his son, and it's so reflective and what expected so much that next time when he showed that he goes over to Flanders' house inside and all that, because he's a more loving father to his boys, they actually show that he, whenever he makes a joke or some kind of wisecrack or something, he ends up reflectively getting choked out, complete with the bulgy eyes and the bulgy tongue too. And that is really super, super funny to me. And also the part where he goes fishing with his father at first, and he ends up putting a big bug zapper into the water. Forget physics, I'm going fishing. That's really funny. So in any case, they have all that, and let's see about there. So they children being a good father, doing the dare, and then getting out for each other with kind of a bunch of bricks on his back and all that, like you do, like as a father does. So and they showed that in Krusty Burger, Krusty has a new mascot, little Parker and Pink number one, I guess, because you don't actually give him a name in the movie. To which Homer says, "No, we can't cook them, we can't do this, we can't destroy a beautiful pig, and all that." But yet, what the hell do you think you've been eating this whole time? Hamburgers come from cows. Pork and bacon, they come from pigs. Chickens lay eggs and they make meat out of them too. So what the hell do you think you've been eating this whole time? I guess it must have been because they wear people clothes, and because they Homer sees them in face to face. All because things with people clothing can seem eye to eye. That doesn't make them people any human, aka Trump supporters. All because they make you think that they're people by wearing clothes that it's all a disguise. So anyway, he feels bad. He saved the pig from being destroyed and being made into pork sausages. So that's kind of like a tell as to what happened. Because now they end up showing Springfield like being the toxic mess. It's so bad that if a squirrel were to go in there, which it does, it ends up becoming a multi-like monster and scared the raccoon that was chasing after it. I think I've seen something where that happened too. Not Tom and Jerry, but something else. Which, by the way, they make commentary on that by saying about they have an ancient scratch cartoon where you can get each hit the mouse, and they do a short with that. And then they show that what's the name? Homer says, "No, you guys should all be watching this movie that's a movie within the movie. You can watch that for free on TV, where you pay $20 or $20 to pay for a ticket to see on the big screen." That could very well easily be a statement against the people who watch this movie, the Simpsons movie. So it's kind of like a meta commentary. So anyway, they show that it's very toxic in the lake, and that when water actually pokes the eyes out of this multi freak of nature, they show that the EPA takes them into their custody, and the lake is so toxic that even the Toxic Avenger would be like, "No, thank you. I'm thinking I'm not going in." Which, by the way, I still haven't seen that movie, The Toxic Avenger, or play the game. So anyway, they show this guy, this little creature being abducted by the EPA and stuff, and shown to President Schwarzenegger. And it takes a lot to actually scare the guy, but got stalled by this little abomination. So anyway, they decide to actually cordon off the Springfield. Well, wait a minute, you don't really do that yet. Homer decides in an infinite with to get a crab tank, a crab storage tank, and put all the pig shit that he got in there from pig slop to be put into the thing. Ethan, I helped a little bit. So then Marge gives him the best look in the movie, and I think of the entire show. Like, okay, I'm just gonna roll with it. I mean, I know how incompetent he is, but this is just one of his scenes again. Also, I should point out that when Ned Flanders said about the bountiful penis, I think he was also talking about this too, because this giant crabber tank looked just like a big penis. I don't know if that was on purpose or what, but it's very distracting actually. Not only that, but they lived at that whole joke subplot in there from the movie Joe Dirt, which we just covered. Not the part about it oozing out or anything, but it's funny. So anyway, they have to get rid of the giant RV crapper tank, and the best way you can do it is by being lazy about it, because they're giving away free donuts at the donut shop. So he rushes and he tries to get rid of it in Springfield Lake, even though there's like an idiot-proof barrier, which doesn't really do anything to prevent idiots from throwing possums and everything into the water. So anyway, he crashes the car afterwards, and then dumps the crabber tank into there, and it's disgusting, and it the lake actually absorbs all the crap that's in the tank. Now, I don't get why this would be a problem. I mean, sludge goes into disgusting, but still, all the crap that's in there, the fecal matter and whatever, is all, it's all, natural toxins and natural things that, so it's all biodegradable and all that. Even the pig shit is natural and biodegradable and whatever. So this shouldn't really increase the toxicity of the lake to that point. But it does, and when it starts leaking out into the water, it creates like a big bubble bath of the seething acid, much more powerful than hydrochloric acid, much more powerful than anything known to man. And then it ends up becoming like a biohazard because it fueled the blood slug of death to the pirates and stuff. It said, "Go away, poison," or something wrong. But there's one thing I gotta point out here. Remember how I said that looks like a giant dong? Well, it turns out that when Homer put it into the water, it leaked out in just the same spot, if you will. And something else leaking out of it. Big giant metal sleeve. That's something I understood. So anyway, the toxicity reaches a bad point, and is monitored by the EPA director, something with a C, Colligren, something like that. Anyway, it's really funny because Abe Simpson during the church service actually gets seizure-inducing vision as to what happened, and Homer looks at the Bible for help, and everything. He said the book doesn't have the answers. I find that very funny. Along with the other anti-religion jokes in this series. So anyway, they also have they also had it where Homer goes into Bart and Maggie are over in church, and Bart's playing like a geek called Baby Blast, like a more kid-friendly version of Doom. So Maggie takes away the game cartridge. Look on her face like, if I got sent to the church service, so do you, Buster Brown. So that's like really funny. I mean, really funny. So later on, they showed that Maggie actually played the game too, on when she's at home, right before she is about to kill Mr. Tinkle. I think his name is Little Monkey, friend of Krusty Clown, and she breaks her well buckle, and she's just like, I'm gonna stick you. Come any closer, and I'm gonna stick you. To which the monkey actually runs away. The very violent little baby you have there. Which is funny because when she actually does fight with somebody in a rivalry type thing, she is visibly scared of him. I don't know which episode that is, but that's really funny. Not the Marlboro rival, but the actual super buff baby. So anyway, let's see where we're at now. To get to potent. Yeah. So then they decide that rather than taking care of the problem, they figured to contain the bomb under a big dome, under a big giant crystal dome. Like now that I mentioned the crystal dome, it sounds very familiar. Something else. Yeah, like when they describe the old biblical vision of the earth being underneath a giant crystal dome and everything. So anyway, they use the helicopter in like a bunch of this dome. It's supposed to be indestructible, but it looks just like a thick, really thick glass, like bulletproof glass, like multiple feet thick. And then the professor says, that I got this indestructible acid drill, but something I'll try to do if I can get to it. So it's like screw you. So anyway, everyone is trapped in Springfield. All the known characters are in Springfield, and even Cullen, Lisa's new boyfriend, and they have a big mob outside wanting to hold the Simpsons characters because they know that it was Homer that did all this stuff to them, and he dumped a big tank of shit into the lake and made it even more toxic and made it into a big mess. So anyway, they have you see that, but I want to see and protect you guys, because the mob will get you guys too. No, we just want you, Homer. So anyway, that's really funny. So they say, I don't want Grandma to be hurt. What happened to Grandpa? Abe. So they said, I'm part of the mob, I want you dead too. So that's really funny. And what's even more funny is that they say that they don't want to kill any of the family members. Marge, Lisa, Bart, and Maggie. But then they actually do have hangman nooses out there for everybody. And even the one for Maggie had a little pacifier on there. Set by boys to be like, that's some for you baby cheeks. To which Maggie's like, you sadistic bastard. You are gonna cut an innocent baby. That's why she ends up branding a little broken glass bottle against the monkey. So anyway, they escape because Maggie early in the movie found out that there's a little sinkhole underneath her sandbox, which Homer lazily put there and covered up. So the kids and the wife go through it. No real problem. But then Maggie everybody go through it. But then Homer had to go through it because he's so fat and so blubbery. He ends up clogging it. And as he's going down it, he's giving everyone the finger like this, like that. It's really funny. Fuck you, Sprinkle, you did nothing for me. So, Mo says, even though he's halfway through it already, the top of his head's showing, so let's quiet. So he just to give him that hey. Now, before they end up leaving, Marge takes wing tape and shoves it into her hair, into that big blue beehive haircut. So then they escape and they go to Alaska. Nice, pure, clean Alaska. And it's funny because the government gives them $1,000 to allow oil companies to come and ravage the natural beauty. Now, I don't know if that's a thing that happens, but if it is, that's pretty sadistic. If I were to ever go to Alaska, which I hope I do one day, I won't take any money to allow for the government to ravage the natural beauty. And I wouldn't want to live there because God knows that's too hard for me in a wheelchair and such. But I would like to go see the natural beauty and hopefully not get run down by a moose. And even then, she makes fun of the fact that Alaska is not part of America. I know full well what it is. It's the 49th state in the country, but because he's so damn stupid, that it's like that. It's not part of the country. And I also really like the fact that he encouraged Bart and Lisa to collect for Alaska. And meanwhile, when you do that, it can cause a huge avalanche. Now, this is what gets really funny and gross too, because they have a Cinderella-esque moment in which the nature's animals, the birds, the beaver, the deer, large buck, and eagle help them get undressed and ready to do the nasty. So anyway, this is really funny because they end up doing it with the footage of Christmas critters watching, and these creatures are so disturbed by seeing a big fat guy like Homer plowing his wife that they look traumatized by it. I mean, I think I would too if I saw that stuff. But the funny thing is that this one sexual act is so disgusting and so traumatic that it overshoots anything that they would see in nature. You know, you probably see bear shit, you probably see other animals doing it with each other, you probably see other disgusting things, but this one's the worst. And Homer actually said to his wife before he leave, you know, will you come with me? You know, in a marriage, you only have one choice, one chance to do this type of thing. You love her. Will you do this with me? To where later on, Homer, Marge did the same thing when it comes going back to Springfield and help him out. Said, "Fuck that! I don't want to do that. That's a stupid idea. That's a very stupid quotation that you made." When they realized on a TV commercial that Tom Hanks narrates that he's going to that there won't be any more Springfield left over. They're gonna make the EPA will make a big crater out of it and make a secondary Grand Canyon out of the place. I don't like the idea about Tom Hanks actually counseling the kids here because I kind of think it's kind of like creepy and pervy and whatever. But because the Tom Hanks America's Sweetheart let them do it, along with other female America's Sweethearts, like Julie Roberts and other actresses like Sandra Bullock and etc. But anyway, that's very funny. To be told, Tom Hanks actually did voice himself in this movie. That's what many other people voice themselves. Celebrities voice the cartoon versions. So in any case, they have what's the name, they show him, so they got let people know about that because apparently in the dome they don't allow outside communication into an inside. It's kind of dumb, but whatever, you know. You'd think that all these people in Springfield would be suspicious of the government after all this. Like if that ever happened to us. Come to think of it, this does kind of resemble, in the dome itself, it kind of resembles what was going on during the Trump administration, during the COVID issue that we had years ago. And then more recently, the whole Iran Hamas thing going on with us suffering and whatnot. Not to the extent of Springfield, but still, it was still bad. I'm thinking now, you have that. So Marge feels necessary to go help them out. You know, because the Simpsons know something detrimental that's been happening to Springfield. Or the Springfieldites, I should say, people who live in there, which they don't know about. So I can see Homer's point that they want him dead and stuff, or help them out, and we got a new life here and stuff like that. But yeah, I can still see Marge's point of view that they were angry. They didn't mean what they said. They're all like friends and family members. And I can see Homer not giving crap about about the sister, Marge's sisters, the twins that never gave him credit for anything. But Barney, Lenny, Carl, Moe, the doctor, and the idiot guy, Krusty, and I think it was Tracer Bob. I don't know, maybe it's replacement, and you got all the friends and whatnot that will be destroyed. And even better when the comic book guy said, all my life I've been collecting knickknacks and comic books and everything, and I'm about to die when the bomb goes off. Best decision ever. No, the best decision ever was getting a Japanese woman for a wife and then having a kid with her. That was the best decision you could ever make, but Buster Brown. So anyway, the film is top, and Homer wants to stay back until he realizes that he's lonely. He wants his wife and kids in a little bit of a pain in the ass. So then they're going back home and they get monitored by the EPA, which I feel is a little bit too much even for them to be in your feet and monitoring everything. But I find it really funny when the guy in the government says, you finally found one. You finally found the guy that was for talking about Marge and everything else. So anyway, the taking hostage, they're brought back into the dome. Let everybody know they're gonna die and they're gonna be blown to pieces. I also like the joke about the GPS, and when the guy gets to Springfield, it disappears off the face of the map, quite literally. And let's see here. Before I forget, I actually had a teacher of mine. Well, not of mine, but I've heard of him in my high school, named Dr. Burns. An English teacher. So every time I would pass by his room, we always had like pictures and memes and cartoons of that guy, Mr. Burns. That was actually funny. He played along with the gag of having the same name as Burns, but he spelled it B-I-R-N-S, Burns, where Herman Burns spelled it with B-U-R-N-S. The more proper way to spell it. But in any case, Marge told everyone, everyone, the society broke it down, worship Moe because I guess he provided everyone with booze until everyone robbed him blind when the lights are out, which is really funny. I can understand them taking the booze and the beer and the wine and the stuff, but his clothes and his its actual physical bar in place. That's a little bit much. How could a bunch of drunks fit that thing at the door? So anyway, they have that, and they have Homer going away and doing the mush with dogs, and then them attacking him, and him having to go alone. And he eats up with this big lady who does like that, who gives him an epiphany thing. And I don't really know if she's offensive or not. So I'm gonna say yes, she is to certain people up north. So, he gets the epiphany from this woman, and it's really funny, because in this epiphany, they have a tree actually dismember Homer's body parts, and as he gets answers wrong for them, they end up kicking his crotch, they end up punching his belly, and everything else, and they make his inside mouth apart. So it's actually really funny until he finally gets it right, and he's like, go on, and it's really funny. Anyway, he gets lost in the woods, and he has to use the big boobs lady to give guidance again, and she takes her money makers and points him in the right direction. And during the main portion of the going out west for Marge and the others, they end up doing like a motorcycle on a death cage type thing, which I could like practice for what's gonna happen later on, which Homer actually does the same thing where he takes a motorcycle and rides around the dome and Bart holds the bomb and chucks out the opening on top. And call upon the idiot to distract the big guy on the big TV screen on the big broadcast on the dome, and it actually worked, and people over there climb up the rope to the helicopter that holds the bomb. And what's really funny is that I thought these Springfielders were supposed to be like gentlemen, in that it's supposed to be women and children first to escape dangerous situation. But these guys do everything backwards, and the men actually go first up the rope. Unfortunately, when Homer Plum gets on top of the dome and falls on the rope, he ends up knocking everybody down, as well as knocking the bomb onto the floor. And so Bart says, did Homer do good? No, Bart says, you didn't at all. Cheer out, Homer, midnight song, yeah. Then go to Flanders, and they get on a motorcycle, and please it Bart, please give your old man one last shot. And please sir, I'll let you hold the bomb. And he turned to Flanders and he said, he knows me. He knows I like all these type of things. I probably like all that. So then, when the boy says to his father, I wish that I wish Homer was my father. And so Ned said to his son, and I wish you didn't have the devil's curly hair. That's dark for this show. So he gets on the spillway, he rides up the side of the dome, and Bart chucks the bomb outside, and it does like a basketball dribble outside the dome area. And one funny thing with that, when Homer actually said, I can't do anything right, before he picks up Bart and everything, he kicks the bomb, and it actually decreased by half the amount that's on there remaining. Then Crooks says, get him out of here! That's really funny. They dooms everybody, but then he also lessens the time in the bomb. Anyway, but this time, at the end of this physics-defying moment, the bomb blows up. Everything, the whole dome gets shattered, like a big piece of glass. Nobody gets injured by it. Nobody gets injured by falling glass shards or whatever. And everything is all good and stuff. Even the other kid gets a makeover. It becomes fun again because this thing could deep into the ground, like about 4 or 5 feet, and it's heavy too. So no one could actually lift it up. But everything is fine until at the end when Bart and Homer are at the canyon looking out onto it, and then the EPA guy comes over with a double barrel shotgun about to kill both of them, and then Bart has to make his famous prank by which he says, no, but you see the treasure. I'm a wiener. I'm a wiener. And the guy said, I'm a wiener. Ha ha, classic. Also, they also do that thing where after Bart does that insane dare where he goes to Krusty Burger naked, he's like that. He goes to they have Nelson there to keep him company, and he's like, ha ha, ha ha, ha ha. But then when he starts in a hoarse voice and tired, his mother goes, where have you been all day? So he points to the kids in the carriage, and she goes, ha 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 ha. She starts laughing angrily like he does. Anyway, this is funny, but after they actually eat anything, or I'm a wiener, they have say your prayers, and then get ready to shoot them. And Maggie of all people, shoot him from behind, or drop a big rock from behind. It was a big rock, and then pull to their death. I'm telling you, Maggie is a little devil in this movie. Everything good comes from this baby, the jokes, the quicksand sinkhole, and killing the EPA guy. So, bravo to Maggie. All hell, Lord Maggie. She's awesome. So anyway, they have everyone returning back to normal again. And Marge even, I guess, re-records her wedding video, which she gave Homer the ultimate message of, we're through, we're over, we're done with Uncle Ralph's thing filled out. Right when she re-recorded over her wedding video, say, we're done though. So, anyway, the voice of the big booby lady was provided by Trey McNeil. She's done many other voices from other TV shows, including the Slim Queen from Futurama. How do I know this? I've heard her many times before, and I recognize the voice pattern by now. And let's see what else. She did the Craig Kelly, I believe, and that's pretty funny too. Anyway, everything's all good again. The EP when Green Day did the Simpsons theme song. Da 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 da. That thing is really funny. Everything go back to normal again. Montgomery Burns is still a jackass. Simpsons has a love affair with him for some reason. And everything's all good. You know what? And every character survived this. I'm so happy and went back to political lives. So what do I think of this movie? It's freaking awesome. It's really good. That's really why I decided to cover this over the Family Guy movies. Because this is a masterpiece. This cartoon, this animation, is just up for the movie deal. It's really, really good. And I'm glad that we only have one Simpsons movie, because otherwise they might fuck it up with the sequels and unnecessary bullshit and stuff like that. So I'm glad that they got rid of that trope. But I wish that they wouldn't tease more and more a Simpsons 2 sequel. I think they did that in the show. Which, by the way, this could so easily be broken up into separate episode length parts, because this whole thing is only like an hour and a half long. So it could very easily be broken up into that. Let's see here, there's, yeah, the gags are funny, the religious jokes are funny, the, government jokes are funny, that we can trust our government to make good decisions. You know, we got President Schwarzenegger over there that doesn't pick which one he could mo. Well, by the way, I find it interesting that he wants to choose a good choice by reading them first. At first he didn't want to read them, but then he wanted to read them because he knew that the first decision was a bad one. But the EPA guy said, no, pick number 4. Just pick number 4, trust me, it's good. It's cool and it's beautiful. But the guy wanted to read his choices first. The EPA guy said, no, I don't want you to read them, because he knew that it would be bad for image and bad for moral stuff too. But besides that, it was awesome. This thing was actually pretty epic for a movie based on this film. Anyway, I thank you for watching a video on the Simpsons movie for my birthday month in June 2026. And as you can imagine, I definitely recommend this movie. I give it a full approval over Happy Face, because it's video awesome. This movie is great. Animation was good. I think they incorporated CGI into it, but it's still pretty awesome. I love Mo, I love Maggie, I love Ralph. I like the taste of burning. I like Chief Wiggum, I like Montgomery Burns, Smithers, and everything else in it too. President Schwarzenegger. Hell, I even like the little abomination multi-eyed scroll there. Like Lisa, yeah, I know she's annoying, but I like Lisa's skin, like Cullen. I like the way he always says, I'm from Ireland, and my father is not Bono. I said, not Bono. And so yeah, this made me happy. This movie could be seen anywhere and said it. It was for me in any time period. Anyway, just like the Simpsons to me for any time period. So if you like what you see here and want to more of my videos, don't like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. You can also contact me for future information on my videos, but call me or text me at 631-707-3707, or you can follow me on Twitter or X if you prefer at PMailstonPro. And my email is jjsviewingchannel@gmail.com. I would like to salute all the people out there who like Spider Pig and his little upside down chicken, stuff like that. That's very funny. And anyone like the Simpsons or any drama thing they do. And yeah, animation in general, it's good. And adult comedy is funny too. So peace out, my brothers and sisters. I'll see you in the next video, all you girls and guys in internet land. Ay caramba and Sonora. Impregnate me at once.